Rav, honestly, why, why there was a statement that was made back in the 50s and 60s when various country clubs in the United States barred Jews. And there was a great statement by Groucho Marx that said that he wouldn't want to be a member of any, country club that would accept someone like him. He was kind of mocking the whole thing. Why are we still in the UN? I don't understand it. It's like an enigma to me after what they just did. And I knew they were going to do it. And I wrote about it several weeks ago, that when this horrible report came out, horrible, claiming that our Hayalim had raped and sexually abused Palestinians from Gaza and all these things, I said at the time, there's your balance. Just like the Americans and the Europeans are trying to draw a comparison between this non-existent Jewish violence in the territories and Arab violence to kind of make the moral equivalency between the two. Now the UN has done the same thing on this issue of sexual violence. I'm sorry. Every day, every hour, every minute, every second that we have an association with this Knesset of hate is a stain on every Jew that died al Kiddush Hashem to bring our country back into life. There is no justification whatsoever for us staying there. We should leave. We should kick UNRWA out completely, tear the schools down, get rid of them, and deport every single UN representative out of our country and the territories for that matter. Get rid of them. What are we doing there? We're spending money. What? So, let me just repeat what I've heard. So that Bibi could have a place of exile for presumed successors. That's what it's called. That's what the ambassadorship really has become, a place of exile for those who threaten Bibi's.
In other words, any competent, capable, serious potential challenger to Netanyahu within the Likud always finds himself, interestingly enough, packed off to New York as the Israeli ambassador to the UN.
Correct. Danny Dinon, smart guy, a threat, packed off. Gilad Arden, smart, very smart guy, perceived as a threat to Bibi's continued rule, packed off. And I can go on with other examples of this in the diplomatic corps here. So the question is, why are we still there? What is gained by that couldn't be gained by just expanding the consulate in New York? You can do the same thing. And if you claim that the reason we're there is that because it gives us an opportunity to meet all these countries that hate us and defame us, if you want to have that as your excuse, then just expand the consulate and you accomplish the same end.
I of course agree with you, and I have frequently asked myself these very questions. Similarly, I've asked myself why did Israel ever agree to sign on with regards to the International Criminal Court,
There's no reason.
Which was obviously only going to be used as one more tool and weapon against Israel.
Prediction,
as we see,
has been realized.
Of course.
So
it's very difficult to understand. Some people seem to be. I think it's like a drug addict. Some people are addicted to the drug of international legitimacy and recognition and legality, or call it what you will, and they will tell you. I've heard this from certain people that of course, we have to be present and active in these bodies, etc., because we need international legitimacy and what have you.
We have no
How,
international legitimacy.
but,
I
but,
mean,
but,
we
but,
don't.
but we've gone that route for so many years, and look around, look at what you see. Do you see any
None.
last vestiges of legitimacy are being denied as we speak, both by the ICC and in the UN
And the World Court. It's the same thing. None of these organizations really have legitimacy in the strict sense of the word, because their judges are appointed by their governments, basically to rule not on matters of law, but on matters of politics or geopolitics. Is this a valid legal organization? No. It's a pale example of a legal system, judicial system, that's basically set up in the guise of legality to implement their country's geopolitical agendas. I mean, we all know what the Chinese did after the World Court ruled against their expansion in the South China Sea, when the Philippines brought a case about them. Okay, the court ruled against China, and what did the Chinese do? They yawned and just went on, and nothing has happened to them. Nothing. So Guterres, in particular, is a vile, unprincipled anti-Semite of the worst order. He actually makes Borrell, the so-called foreign minister of the UN, of the EU, look rather good in comparison. Borrell at least knows when to shut up.
Quite an achievement. Quite an achievement. Quite an
It's
achievement.
a huge achievement. It's a masterful achievement on the part of Guterres. So we should leave.